Hello and welcome to the G3 Pulse podcast. Our guest today is Leo Bateman of Quixant. Leo, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Lewis. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again too. For our viewers and listeners who don't know you, could you give a little bit of background into what you do at Quixant and a little bit of the role and day-to-day things that you kind of manage?
Yeah, so I'm VP Business Development for Europe, Middle East and Africa, but also a bit of Far East. So it's multifaceted, but the primary focus of it is driving business growth in the number of different portfolio verticals that we supply now.
Okay.
And part of that is not controlling, but having fundamental input into new product development, building a team so that we can target new business opportunities, because however hard I work, that's not something that I can do effectively in my role, because part of that also is looking at we've got a big market share,
Okay.
and we've got a big list of customers, and part of that is, especially over the last couple of years, is retention of customers, looking into existing customers for new projects, new opportunities, and then on the side of it, working with my team to develop new business to create growth that everybody expects within Quixant as a market leader.
Okay. Well, we've had quite a lot of the Quixant team on the podcast over the last pretty much 2 years, and a lot of things have been COVID related. A lot of things have been about supply chain issues, and that isn't the focus of what I wanted to talk to you today. But I'm not going to let you leave without touching on that at the very end. I'm afraid it's one of the biggest questions that everybody's asking. So, and it's one of those evergreen ones. It doesn't seem to be going away or into the background. But you've been very busy, and Quixant has been very busy recently. I just wanted to find out what you've been working on, and especially how it relates to kind of the customer support that Quixant's giving right now.
Yeah. So coming back to supply chain, it's not going away. And I think the important thing is that we recognize that. I mean, we could sit back and think, well, component supply will get back to a point soon where it was 2 years ago, and why don't we just wait? But we can't do that because we're dedicated to gaming. So what we've been working on is essentially redesigning the majority of our products to make them more pandemic proof. Meaning that the lifespan of the components is more reliable, meaning that we can supply products to a lead time that our customers expect without having an impact on their product development needs. Because we can look at our product development needs as much as we like, but if we're not satisfying what our customers need to put out to market, then we're not doing our job properly. So a lot of the last year has been looking at our products and seeing how we can redevelop them, redesign them as such, so that we can satisfy customer demand in 2022. Because if we didn't do that, we wouldn't be satisfying any customer demand in 2022.
Okay.
And obviously that's not an option. And coming back to our dedication to gaming, that is a major asset for us as a supplier into gaming. It's why we've got as far as we have in terms of being a market leader. But that does mean that we've had to act very proactively this year in terms of our product design, and in some cases prioritizing that over new product development, and also planning. I mean, we have to plan 12 months ahead, and it's difficult because our customers have customers who can't plan 12 months ahead, but we have to do it in order to satisfy that demand through to the middle of next year. Because supply chain not going away essentially means that our component lead times are anywhere between 4 and 52 weeks, and therefore we have to plan for everything 52 weeks ahead, which we've got to do. So because of that issue with component lead time and building finished products, we've seen more and more a sort of importance of demand for quick turnaround on servicing product.
Okay.
Customers don't have the shelves full of new replacement product that they used to have. They don't, they don't have the 20 computers in the back of their technicians' cars like they used to have, because there's a difficulty in supplying the finished components, and we're doing very well on that, but still it's not the same as it was, quite honestly, 2 years ago. So we have to then focus on serviceability of products, how we allow our customers and the operators that are related to our customers to turn around product quickly and get machines operating again, because there's less of an opportunity now to go, right, okay, well, we'll just stick a new one in. But that was and for everything. So for billets,
well, people are getting locked in, aren't they? You're getting locked into what your decision is, but from 12 months ago, practically.
Yeah. So it's the same. So we always talk to our customers about how we're performing. So this is the important thing to us, and we need to understand if they have a perception that we're not performing well, we need to know about it. So we talk to them about how we're performing in terms of lead times and reliability and communication compared with other parts of their machine, because it's not just our computer that's going into a machine. There's loads of component parts, and supply chain dictates that every part of it is difficult. But we're doing well relatively in terms of keeping customers happy, but we do need to add that serviceability factor, and this is why, which I'm sure you're going to move on to in a minute, which is why we are looking more into supporting local servicing across the world.
Okay, yeah, and so specifically, what is it that you're actually been putting onto the ground? What is it? Because it feels like you're moving into kind of a lot of these things are customer support things, but you're doing something actual, very specific, and doing something that's actually tangible as well. So, just wanted to find out what you've actually been developing over these, and what's been the time period that you've been kind of cooking this as well, Leo?
We've essentially. We're at the stage where we're just about to sign off agreements on a UK repair centre, which will help our customers significantly. And the time frame on this is, I think we started thinking about it sort of Q4 last year. So it's taken a good 7 or 8 months to get the plans in place. I mean, having a facility like this does have a lot of moving parts. I mean, you've got to look at how you supply the parts to your service center, because obviously they're ours, so we have to work between our team in Taiwan and the service center itself, and also processes, SOPs, training. Training is not easy at the moment, because obviously it's difficult to move engineers about across the world. I mean, that would be the ideal solution, that we'd have a number of people from Taiwan.
Is that because of COVID? Is that because of training? Is that because of recruitment?
Because of COVID, because of restrictions. I mean, we had, to put this into perspective, we had a service centre being set up in it's a terrible day. It was February 2020. So we had a service centre in Holland, which was just being set up to support our European customers. And because of it being February 2020, within a month of us setting that up, the business for that repair centre died, and with it did that repair centre. So we had to time this right, so that we were able to support a market which we feel is rebounding, which UK gaming certainly is, and EU gaming certainly is as well. So yeah, it's been sort of 7-8 month time frame. It's been hard work, but it'll be certainly worth it and of benefit to our customers and us as a global organisation as we move forward.
So how does it actually benefit the customers? I mean, is it about lead times? Is it about turnaround? Is it about having stock in in a one particular location? What is it? What's the actual tangible benefit to the customer?
So the huge benefit is that shipping costs are remarkably high at the moment. So our
Okay.
standard model is, and I'll come to the other bits as well because they are benefits. But our
Yeah.
standard model is shipment to Taiwan for UK, EU, and Asian customers. Essentially, we've got a repair center in Las Vegas in the US that services our US customers and our LATAM customers.
Okay.
But we haven't had this solution. So therefore, if a customer requires a repair on our product, which I must stress is very reliable, then they would need to return to Taiwan. And I'm sure shipping costs are absolutely through the roof. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
you're looking at transporting a computer for not far off the value of that computer that
Right.
cost.
Okay. Well, it's just yeah.
So even before the shipping costs went through the proverbial roof, we were having conversations with customers in the UK and customers in Europe, and they said, right, your product's great and your product's reliable, but the missing piece in all this is serviceability, because essentially they said we need to sort it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there was a motive behind it, in that we need to, coming back to customer retention, it's really important. You can't just go out and fight for new business all the time. You've got to rely on what's there already and make sure that those customers are happy. So we looked at this and we thought, right, okay, so shipping costs are going up. There's a need for this, and our customers have said, you need to add this to your offering. So that's fair enough.
Okay.
And what it also does is, shipping to Taiwan for repairs from Europe does affect lead time, does affect turnaround time, and it affects all three of those things you mentioned, actually, because it affects
Okay.
how much stock they've got on the shelves, because there's a lag time there. So all three of those things it benefits, but mainly it reduces the need for customers to spend hard-earned cash, which is at a premium at the moment, on
Mhm.
moving product across the globe, when they really, we've got to the point where we realised that they really shouldn't have to. So we've set this model in place where it will improve lead time on repaired product. It will, and lead and turnaround time essentially is the same thing to me, really.
Okay.
But it will improve their cash situation, because they won't be spending so much on out of warranty movement of repairs. And also, we do this for our entire range as well. So we do this for displays, we do this for PCs as well,
Okay.
and it just essentially puts that final piece of the jigsaw in. Our customers always talk about reliability, quality, and serviceability, and if you get all three of those right, then you're doing something right. So I think with this move, we will be.
Okay, and you mentioned about setting up in Holland, but I mean, this is a UK facility, and does in terms of you mentioned you cover the offering that you're doing, but what's the reach of that facility? Does it extend? Is it EMEA? Does it extend into other areas? Is there overlap? Is there a point of delineation between America and other parts of the world, or
Yeah.
how global, I guess, is this office going to be? There's the facility.
So the Taiwan will be a viable repair center for lots of parts of the world. It will remain the primary repair center for customers in Australia. We've got a lot of them. We've
Okay.
got a good market share in Australia and the Far East as well. It will continue to work that way. And the reach of our UK center will be UK and EU, essentially like territories that will benefit from what we've just talked about.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's not limited to the UK. They've worked with, as well as working with high tier customers in the UK, particularly in the pub market. They've also worked with customers in the EU. We've run trials with companies in the EU deliberately to see how the process pans out. And we're more than happy that we have the processes and they have the processes in place that we can deal with both the UK and EU.
Okay, and is this? I mean, are we up and running now? Is this theoretically still in the process? Has everything been signed up? Where are we up
So
to?
I'm being remarkably guarded and not naming this company, aren't I? But the purpose is that they're based in the north of the UK. So the purpose is that we do a major launch in mid-July,
Okay,
which we're on course for. We're just finalising agreements, but we've come to the point where we are happy in the knowledge that they are very, very capable of repairing the products that are out there in the biggest proportions in the UK.
okay,
We didn't dive in with all the products all in one go because that's difficult.
okay.
All of our products are slightly different in the terms of in the way that they're repaired. So we made sure that the products with the highest market share across the UK, across Europe, would be reliably supported, and we're happy with that. So that within 2 to 3 weeks we'll be ready to go. And in fact, we're already telling customers that we have this facility in place if there's the pressing need.
Okay.
It's just there's a difference between the informal communication and the formal launch. That means that we're going to wait a couple of weeks.
Right. Okay. I mean, in terms of the kind of $1 million question, which is going to go going around and around and around, I've got to kind of finish the podcast on this kind of supply chain, things easing. Each time I've spoken to everybody from John to Abinay about this from Quixant, it's almost kept the same time frame moving forward. It's almost been this. Maybe in 18 months things will start to get better. Do you see that? Is it shortening? Are we coming? Is the daylight at the end of this? Are we still kind of kicking this can further down the road in terms of things still aren't getting better and it's still going
well, it's a very fine question. So I would say that in a strange kind of way, you create your own daylight. So if we weren't coming back to what I was saying earlier, if we weren't proactively redesigning product to suit our customers' needs in terms of lead time, etc., then I'd be rather concerned that daylight was just staying perpetually far away. So we started in 2021 thinking that by mid 2022 component supply would be fine. Component prices would be back to pre-COVID levels.
Yeah.
It's simply not happening. We're simply not there. I think realistically, the market's not going to get back to that until the end of next year.
Okay.
And so the light at the end of the tunnel remains as far away as it was, quite honestly. But what we've done in terms of making sure that our while not changing bills of materials too much, but making sure that the components that go into all of our products are not as susceptible to the crisis as they might be. I think we have safeguarded that irrespective of when that comes around. I mean, costs have gone up and everybody knows that. But I think that we have, from that perspective as well, we're still making our product as cost effective as we possibly can. And I think, a year from now, we will be in a very good place because we have the new revisions of product that we are redesigning right now and we're putting out to our customers in the next couple of months will be what we'll be using in a year's time. And life will get easier for us and easier for our customers because gaming's a heavily regulated market. So if you change anything in a product, I'm lucky in the UK because we often have a joke between us that we've got guys out in the US who have to write every little component in a bill of materials down to the regulators, and if they change one of those components, then they have to reapprove. And I'm sat there going, as long as the game doesn't change, that's fine. And then parts of Europe are somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But we'll be in a position next year where these new revisions of products have rolled out with all of our customers, and actually they'll get a feeling of stability from it. And they're getting a feeling of stability from it already. And we generally hear really good things about how we've managed the process, and how our customers appreciate our responsiveness, and that all ties back to the fact that we have to do it. So we can't sit back and we can't say, we'll just wait until it gets better, because where would we be if we did that? You don't know when it's going to get better. So that's what I meant by saying you create your own daylight. So we've kind of brought forward that light at the end of the tunnel by doing what we're doing. If we'd sat still, you just wouldn't know when it was going to end.
Okay. Well, it seems that that's the nicest way of kind of putting that things aren't getting better, but you're improving the scenario and situation that,
Yeah,
that you're able to control,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Then,
I mean, we've got to be entirely realistic. I mean, I could sit in front of you and say it's going to be all right next year, but the whole situation is probably not going to be.
okay.
But from our point of view, we've worked our hardest proactively to make sure that life is easier for the people we work with.
Okay. Well, I mean, thank you for kind of appraising us for this scenario at the moment, as the whole Quixant team has done throughout the pandemic, and kind of we don't seem as though we're exiting anytime soon, and there are just ramifications that are coming from all kind of different things, from supply chains, from obviously
Yeah,
Ukraine, and the problems
yeah,
that are ongoing for everybody.
yeah.
But trying to make it better is
Mm.
that's the only thing anybody can ask for right now, and.
Yeah,
Yeah, so good luck with. We're obviously a little bit away from the kind of the big launch and the opening of the facility. So
yeah.
good luck with that over the summer.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to have a chat to us. And ahead of what was probably going to be a big G2E show, I'm imagining after Ice World wasn't the same scale as it normally was.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully.
Putting it mildly.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm hoping we have a good catch up in Vegas, and then we can then have another chat
Yeah,
with someone from the team. It's really about hopefully by the end of the year to get a better picture of where everybody's at, where the customers and suppliers are, and to see how the facility is bedded in as well in the meantime, and how customers are using it. But for
that'd
now,
be great. Yeah, yeah, that'd be
yeah.
great.
Leo, thank you very much for taking part, and look forward to speaking to you soon.
Cheers, Lewis. Thanks.
Cheers. Thanks. Bye.